Well, here we are. It's another early morning. You can see the moon up there, right? And I had initially got up at about 5 o'clock this morning and thought I'd do some work on the channel, right? I did a little bit of work, watched a little bit of videos, and I thought I'd lay back down, right? But little Ace, who's here, nibbling on a plant down here, little Ace had different plans, right? So it got me to thinking, and here's the deal, man. I got to lay back down for about 5 minutes, and I thought, oh, man. I thought, man, I'm not going to get any more work done, right, if I don't get up. But I lay down, it felt good. Got a little sense of peace and calm. And then all of a sudden I hear that bark. And in his crate, Ace is like, man, I need to go out, dude. Dude, I need to go out, right? So here's the deal, man. This is a very important topic. And I'm gonna get into depth on it, because if you're gonna have a long career in the music business, if you're gonna be able to keep the late nights, the long hours, you're going to have to learn how to do this. You're going to have to learn to demand this. You're going to have to learn to take advantage of this and make this happen, right? What am I talking about? I'm talking about rest. I'm talking about getting proper rest. Something that a lot of people in this business, maybe don't get, man. And that's the reality of the music business, man. Here's the thing. One of the most important things that you can do is take a friggin' nap, right? And, it may sound like a simple, easy thing, but, man, it's something that, can really, really extend your career. Taking the time out, and look, different people have different sleeping habits and sleeping abilities and all of these things, and I get that, and what works for me might not work exactly for anybody else. But man, even 15 minutes, a 15-minute period for me, man, sometimes even 5 minutes or 10 minutes can make all the difference, can reset your body so that then you wake up and you're like, oh, I feel a little refreshed. And literally just now, that 5 minutes laying in bed before the dog barked, it was a quick recharge. And this is something, man, this is important. And I had a girlfriend once that called it a disco nap, and she was a little bit older than me, but yeah, for her, it was called a disco nap. And, it's important, man. If you're going to go out, timing is everything in life, right? And so, back in the days when I used to party, you don't start drinking at 4 or 5 in the afternoon and then think you're going to go out later and network and do all that stuff, man. That's not the way a pro does it, right? If you're going to do all of that, if you want to get out, everything in life is about pacing yourself. So, man, for me, it would be, okay, I'm going to have an early dinner, a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock meal, right? I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take maybe a 30-minute to 45-minute nap. I'm going to get up, then I'm going to start getting ready, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm going to go out. I'm going to say I'm going to go out and hear a band, or I'm going to go out to go hang out and meet people or find a date or whatever. Back in the days when I was partying, that's what I would do. I would keep kind of a schedule, a plan, to be well rested and to be able to go do that. Because, hey, man, what if you go out and people say, hey, we're going to leave this, club, and we're going to have there's a jam tonight. You should come out, man. There's some people there I want you to meet. In order to do that, man, you've got to be well rested, and you've got to watch your cups. Don't get too deep in your cups. Pace yourself, man. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. But look, man, there's different levels of this. That's just talking about somebody that wants to go out for the evening and do all that. But imagine you're on the road. You're playing 5 shows a week, 4 to 5 shows a week. You're traveling, all overnight in a bus, sleeping in a bus. Maybe you're getting decent sleep. Maybe you're not. And for me, in my later years of touring, it wasn't necessarily designated that, we could go back to the rooms and, get a little sleep and get a shower. But for me, that was the difference between being able to do my job and not being able to do my job. And so we would have a runner, and I would, after sound check, after lunch, hang out for an hour or two, and then say maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd get a ride to the hotel, I'd take a shower, and then I'd sleep, right? And that would be something that, usually isn't designated, man. There were tours that I did where there were no hotel rooms for the band members. And if you were going to clean up, it would be at the end of the night, there would be a cleanup room. And then you would be, go to room 308. So-and-so has the key. Hopefully there's a towel. You might want to ask for some extra towels. I mean, that might be the only time you clean up is after the show. But man, look, everybody knows if you're showered, if you're fresh, if you got clean clothes on, you just feel better about getting on stage. But being on the road, that's not a guarantee, man. Depending on the level of touring that you're doing, you might not have that option. You might be sharing rooms. You might not have a room at all. If you're touring and playing arenas, there is no hotel room. The hotel room is your bus bunk. And here's the thing about that. If you're doing arena gigs, you're going to have a locker room. That locker room is going to have a shower. That locker room is going to have several bathroom stalls. So there is your shower. You could use it twice a day. I often did. I would often get up in the morning, take a shower, and maybe even before the show, take another shower, just depending on what's going on that day. If you need, to be refreshed, you take the shower. But you would be playing an arena, and if you needed a nap, if you wanted to go take a nap, your bunk would be there on the bus, and you could go sack out. And then playing, partying, going every single night, traveling all night, bumps and bruises. Maybe the bus stops and you wake up, or maybe there's a traffic accident and you fear the bus has stopped and you wake up and realize you're just in the middle of nowhere in a traffic jam. These things can play havoc, wreak havoc on your sleeping. For me, in my later years, I had a hard time sleeping in a bus bunk. It gets to feel like a coffin. It was not an easy thing to do, but I figured out ways that I could do it. I figured out ways of blocking out the sounds on the bus. So I would have earphones in, wired headphones attached to my phone, and I'd be playing like white noise or fan sounds. I would keep a lozenge in the side of my mouth to prevent my throat from drying out so I could still sing the next day. And, these are things that you would do to try to take care of yourself, to try to always get enough rest. Everybody that sings knows if you're tired, there's nothing you can do to fix your voice other than rest. If your voice is tired, that's the only thing you can do. Now, here's another thing, man, and it reminded me of this because my wife the other day, she was on the road. She was doing some travel for work, right? She's traveling for work, and she gets to the place where she's going to be, and the room's not going to be ready till 4 o'clock, and it's like 10 o'clock in the day or something like that, and she's got to get work done. So they said, well, if you pay $55 for a room upgrade, we can get you in a room. So, even though this was not, her employer would not pay for this, she said, for my sanity, I'm going to pay the money because I need to get in the room and I need to get some work done. Man, I would often on the road do the same thing. Say we got a day off somewhere, and they're going to get hotel rooms, but you're going to have to share the room. Sometimes there might be 4 in a room. Sometimes there might be 2 people in a room. And sometimes, man, I would just be wore out, right? To where I just want to get in a room and be quiet and be silent for an entire day. And the only time I would get up is to go grab something to eat, maybe do my laundry. And so for my sanity's sake, for my rest's sake, a room by myself would not be provided. So I would get out of where the hotel we're at, and I go, hey, how much are your rooms? I'm with the group that's here. We've got a bunch of rooms. Is there a group rate? Yada, yada, yada. And if the room was reasonable, I would pay for it out of my own pocket. I can even remember one night having some guests and being like, having to pay $333, at 1 a.m. to get a room. But in order to have some sanity, in order to get proper rest, in order to be able to do what you want to do, sometimes you're going to have to pay for it. And that is the reality of this, man. Do what you need to do would be my advice. If you need to take a nap, don't take a nap when it's time for sound check. But if you've got a window of time, and that's when you need to realize, hey, there's nothing going on right here, right now. I could sit up in the front lounge and yuck it up and burn energy or whatever, or I can just go lay down for a little while. We're here for a day or two, and I need to recharge, man. For me personally, recharging is getting away from everybody and just clearing my mind and recharging. I'm one of those people that needs solitude, that needs solace, so, man, don't be afraid to do what you need to do. Don't isolate yourself from the group. Be friendly towards everyone. Don't be a lone wolf all the time. That's not going to serve you well on the road. But man, when you need to recharge, it's okay to go away. It's okay. You know what? If you can afford it and it's going to help your sanity, it's going to help you get rest, go ahead and pay for that hotel room. Just to, hey man, I need to recharge. I'm going to go, or I'm not feeling that great. That's another thing, man. If you're sick, being around other people that maybe are living different lifestyles or different schedules, man, go off somewhere and be sick and come back. That would be my recipe for everybody out there. Know when you have the windows of time that you can get some rest. Take those windows of time and get the rest. Even if you're having the time of your life hanging out with your best friends, traveling on the road, man, everybody needs time to recharge. And you have to make sure that you take that time, you take the naps when you can, you take those instances where maybe I need to get away from it all and clear my head for a little while. You take that time to recharge. And when you get home off the road, you do the exact same thing, man. You use that time to recharge. Don't go out on the road start your run that week tired because you've been doing so much at home. Take the time to recharge, because if you don't, man, you could end up crashing and burning.